We just need to come inside. We won't be long.
They always knock politely. That's the first thing every witness says, and the detail that never quite leaves them afterward. Not the eyes. Not the voice. Not the cold that seems to follow them up the driveway. The politeness. Because the thing that lives in your nervous system, the ancient, pre-rational part of you that has kept your species alive for 100,000 years, that part doesn't respond to a monster that snarls and claws and screams. It responds to the thing that smiles. And asks nicely. And waits. It was a spring night in Abilene, Texas. 1996. Brian Bethel, a journalist for the Abilene Reporter News, was sitting in his car, scribbling a check to pay his internet bill after finishing a late shift. He was parked in front of a strip mall, using the pale glow of the nearby Westwood Theater marquee to see by. He was absorbed in what he was doing. He wasn't paying attention to his surroundings. He didn't notice the boys until one of them tapped on his window. He looked up to see two young boys. The older one said that he and his brother wanted to catch a movie but had forgotten their money at home. Could Bethel give them a ride? They assured him it wouldn't take long. They were just two kids. And, unprompted, they told him they didn't have a gun. That last part stopped him cold. Because no child who needed a simple ride home would think to say that. No child would even think of it. Something felt wrong. The movie they claimed to want to see had already started 45 minutes earlier. Their voices sounded far older than their youthful appearances suggested. And then Bethel felt something he couldn't explain, couldn't name, couldn't make logical sense of. A wave of irrational, overwhelming dread. The kind that doesn't come from a thought or a threat. The kind that comes from somewhere deeper. Somewhere older. Soul-racking, he would later call it. He broke eye contact. And that's when he saw their eyes. Their eyes were completely black. No irises. No whites. Just an unbroken field of matte, absolute darkness. He didn't think. He didn't reason. Every rational thought in his mind went quiet, and something else took over. The older boy, sensing his hesitation, pressed harder. We can't come in unless you invite us in. You have to let us in. Bethel rolled up his window. Put the car in reverse. The boys' voices grew louder. More insistent. More desperate. He pulled out of the parking lot and accelerated onto the road. When he glanced in his rearview mirror, they were gone. Not walking away. Not running. Not standing there watching him leave. Gone. Brian Bethel was not an excitable man. He was a journalist, trained in observation, trained in skepticism, trained to question what he saw and verify what he reported. He still lives in Abilene. He has never wavered. He maintains to this day that what he saw was real. And in doing so, he became the patient zero of one of the most enduring modern legends in America. He did not set out to create a myth. He set out to pay his cable bill. In the 30 years since Brian Bethel's parking lot encounter, reports of black-eyed children have come in from across the United States and beyond, from Oregon and Ohio, Vermont and Arkansas, California and the UK. Researchers have logged hundreds of accounts. And across all of them, certain details repeat with a consistency that is very difficult to explain away. They appear human at first glance. Pale skin, youthful faces, often dressed in outdated or oddly anachronistic clothing. They are most commonly encountered begging for help, asking for a ride, requesting to use a phone, or standing silently on a doorstep late at night. What makes these encounters especially disturbing is how long it takes for people to register that something's off. The clothes are often outdated or seasonally inappropriate. Their speech patterns don't quite fit their apparent age. Their smiles don't reach their eyes, and when those eyes finally meet yours, all clarity hits at once. There are no whites. No visible irises. Just an unbroken field of matte black, cold and impossibly still. You are looking at something that is mimicking a child. But whatever it is, it doesn't belong here. The voices are wrong in a way that's hard to articulate. Witnesses describe them as monotone. Flat. As if the emotional register of a normal child, the nervousness, the excitement, the vulnerability, has been removed, and what remains is a perfect simulation of asking for help, without the humanity underneath it. They repeat themselves. The same phrases, over and over, with the same toneless urgency.
We just need to come inside. We won't be long. You have to let us in.
And sometimes, they know things they shouldn't. Names. Schedules. Pet names. Secrets never spoken aloud. That detail, more than the eyes, is what tends to break people. Animals hide. Electronics flicker or fail. Hands shake. Hearts race. Every witness describes the same overriding sensation, not simple fear, but something older than fear. Something that bypasses conscious thought entirely and speaks directly to the body. The heart rate spikes before the mind has registered why. The hand reaches for the lock before the decision to lock it has been made. The body knows what the mind is still trying to rationalize. And then there is the rule. Across reports, one detail appears almost universally: the black-eyed children never enter without permission. They stand on the threshold, asking. They linger outside the car, waiting. They do not force their way in. For many, that detail is more unsettling than if they had. It's not that they can't enter. It's that they won't, unless you let them. This links them directly to traditions older than any internet forum, to vampires who cannot cross a threshold uninvited, to demons who require consent, to ancient folklore from cultures across the globe that understood instinctively, the most dangerous things ask permission first. The black-eyed children aren't scary because they are monsters. They are scary because they look like victims. Evolution has hardwired us to protect children. When a child says, "Help me," our biological imperative is to open the door. The BEK hijack that empathy. They use our own humanity as a trap. Texas, 2014. A Marine station near Abilene claimed he encountered a small group of children outside his home just after midnight. They knocked on his door, asking to use his phone to call their mother. When he drew his weapon, the children vanished. His security camera later showed only static. Ohio, 2001. A trucker said a pale girl knocked on his cab, asking to warm up. He refused. She stood motionless in the snow for over an hour. Not moving. Not leaving. Not speaking again. Just standing there. Arkansas, 2008. A night shift worker stopped for two barefoot kids on a country road. When they looked up, black eyes. He drove away without a word. He later said he couldn't sleep properly for a month. Not from fear, exactly. He couldn't explain what it was. Just a sense, a persistent, irrational sense, that something had followed him home even though he hadn't let them in. People often describe feeling watched for days afterward. Like something invisible followed them in. Even when they said no. Even when they drove away. Vermont, 2010. During a whiteout blizzard, a rural couple opened their door to two coatless children. They let them in. Only after wrapping them in blankets did they notice the eyes. The children rose without a word, walked to the door, and stepped into a wind that flung it open on its own. In the weeks after, the couple suffered unexplained illness and frequent nosebleeds. The children left no tracks in the snow. The consequences reported by those who allowed them entry are alarmingly consistent across accounts that have no connection to each other. A young, healthy man encountered several fear-inspiring black-eyed children in a woman's home after spending the night with her. Presumably the woman had let the children in at some earlier point. A month or so later, the unfortunate man was diagnosed with bladder cancer, which he would die of 6 months later. Until his dying day, he maintained the belief that his illness was a direct result of his encounter. Another woman who allowed them inside reported that a man who had visited her home shortly after developed an aggressive form of skin cancer, the type more commonly associated with people who use tanning beds or are exposed to radiation. He had never worked in the sun. The woman's message to others: feel free to publish this as a warning. My advice would be to lock your doors, call the police, and wait for morning. Don't make the same mistake that I did. Researchers, folklorists, and paranormal investigators have spent 30 years trying to answer the question the black-eyed children raise, and coming back with more questions than answers. Certain eye disorders like mydriasis or aniridia can cause extremely dark pupils. Dim lighting, stress, and adrenaline can amplify misperception, especially if someone is already nervous. Skeptics offer these explanations and they are not unreasonable. But they don't explain the consistency. Why do reports from Portland to Staffordshire, UK, all describe the exact same monotone speech patterns? Why do unconnected witnesses across different decades, different countries, different languages all report the same irrational surge of dread before they even notice the eyes? A trick of light doesn't travel across continents and repeat itself with the same specific details for 30 years. Folklorist Bridget Burke connects them to an older lineage, predatory childlike spirits from cultures across the globe. From the Celtic changelings, who stole infants and replaced them with impostors, to the Japanese Kuromi no Ana, a woman whose black eyes mark her as something inhuman. Stories of things that were the faces of children to gain entry into places of warmth and safety, they exist in almost every culture. In almost every century. In almost every part of the world. Long before the internet. Long before Brian Bethel's parking lot in Abilene. Which means one of two things is true. Either the human imagination, across cultures and centuries, keeps independently generating the same specific horror, the child that isn't a child, the innocent face concealing something ancient and hungry. Or the thing the stories describe has always been real. And the stories are warnings. They will come on a night like any other. Not a horror movie night, not a full moon, not a thunderstorm, not when you're already afraid. They prefer ordinary nights. Tuesday nights. The kind of night when your guard is completely down and your instincts are focused on nothing more threatening than what you're going to watch before bed. The knock will be calm. 3 times. Patient. And when you look through the peephole, you'll see children. Just children. Standing in the rain without umbrellas, without jackets, looking up at the door with expressions that don't quite line up with the situation. Polite. Flat. Still. You'll feel something before you understand what you're feeling. Your dog will already be in the other room, hidden under the bed. Your phone screen will go dark for no reason. And the children will speak, in voices too measured, too old, too empty to belong to anyone who has ever laughed or cried or been afraid of the dark.
We just need to come inside. We won't be long.
And the part of you that was raised to help, the part that sees two children in the rain and feels guilt for not opening the door immediately, that part will push back against the other thing. The older thing. The thing that already knows. Brian Bethel survived because he listened to his lizard brain, not his human heart. He was rude. He drove away. He left two little boys stranded in a parking lot. And he is still alive to tell the story. So if it happens to you, tonight, tomorrow, any ordinary night from now, and something cold settles in your chest before you even understand why, and the children on your doorstep look up with faces that are almost right but not quite right. Don't apologize. Don't explain. Don't engage. Turn off the porch light. Step away from the door. And do not, under any circumstances, say the words they are waiting for. Because the moment you say, "Come in," whatever was pretending to be a child on your doorstep will take you up on the offer. And the only people who know what happens next aren't here to tell you.
We just need to come inside. We won't be long. You have to let us in.